Have you ever stopped and thought about the little stories running in your mind every day? Not the big life story, but those small, quiet stories about yourself, the world, and what's possible. Today, let's talk about how these stories actually shape how we see reality, and why that matters more than you might think. Every day, your brain is busy making sense of everything around you. It tries to explain things, connect dots, and create a narrative, a story that fits your experience. For example, if someone doesn't reply to your message, your mind might say, "They're ignoring me," or maybe "they're busy." Those are two very different stories, right? The truth is, the facts are often unclear, but the stories we choose to tell ourselves fill in the blanks. And those stories influence how we feel and act. Our minds crave order and meaning. Life is messy and confusing, so stories help us make sense of it. They give us a sense of control, predictability, and identity. But here's the catch: not all stories are helpful or true. Sometimes, we get stuck in negative stories that limit us, stories like "I'm not good enough" or "things never work out for me." These stories aren't facts, but they become real in the way they shape our feelings and choices. The good news? You don't have to believe every story your mind tells you. When you catch yourself thinking, "I'm a failure after a mistake," ask, is this really the whole truth? Or is it just one story I'm telling myself? Try to step back and look at your thoughts like a curious observer. You might find alternative stories that are kinder, more balanced, or even hopeful. Over time, choosing different stories can change how you experience your life, and open new possibilities. Because the stories shape your reality. If you believe you're stuck, you feel stuck. If you believe you're capable, you find ways to grow. The stories aren't about lying to yourself, they're about being honest with yourself and choosing what to focus on. Your mind is powerful. The stories you tell yourself are the lens through which you see your whole world. Think about this: the stories we tell ourselves don't just shape how we see the world, they actually shape who we become. When you repeat a story often enough, it starts to feel like a part of your identity, almost like a personal truth. But what if you realized that your identity isn't fixed? What if the stories you carry are more like habits of thought, patterns you've learned, rather than unchangeable facts? This means you have the power to rewrite those stories, to challenge the narratives that hold you back, and create new ones that open up space for growth, hope, and even joy. It's like being the author of your own mind, deciding which chapters to keep and which to revise. Here's something curious: sometimes, the stories we cling to aren't really about the present moment at all, they're echoes of past experiences, memories, or even fears about the future. Our minds love to loop on these old scripts because they feel familiar, even if they cause pain or limit us. But reality is always unfolding right now, in ways that might not fit those old stories. So, by becoming aware of this, we can start to step outside the mental playback and invite new perspectives, new stories that reflect the present truth rather than the past or imagined future. It's like tuning into a new radio station where the signal is clearer and more in tune with who you are today. And here's the thing: our stories don't just affect how we see ourselves, but how we relate to others too. When we carry stories of distrust, failure, or fear, they create invisible walls between us and the people around us. But when we choose stories of empathy, curiosity, and openness, those walls start to crumble. Suddenly, relationships feel more genuine, and connection becomes possible. So in a way, rewriting our inner narratives doesn't just transform our own minds, it ripples out and changes the world we live in, one conversation, one moment at a time. So next time you catch your mind spinning a story, pause. Ask yourself, is this story helping me or holding me back? If you like this reflection, hit like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What stories have shaped your life? Thanks for watching. See you next time.